and all to no purpose, but to be used worse by the enemy, for it is impossible to get away. Therefore you had better surrender. To the best of my knowledge, I hardly made him any answer, nor had I, before he sent to me, the least thoughts of surrendering, which I declare before God and man, though I was well convinced within myself that it was impossible to save the ship. I went up to my old station, the quarter deck, and took several turns as usual, and proceeded in the engagement. I begun to consider what Mr. Rogers told me, and the condition of the ship, and argue within myself the impossibility of doing any more, for if a gale had sprung up, it could be of no service. And all the time from the fall of our mainmast, the enemy were got so near that I could hear them talk, and my second mate did the same. As to our masts, they had gained their ends, and their only business now was to fire at the hull. There was no hopes of their leaving us, considering the condition they had brought us to, and it could not be long before we sunk, for as they lay so near us, and so low in water, our shot must doubtless fly over them. At last I was of Mr. Rogers' opinion, that it was only sacrificing the men to no purpose, for they had so large a mark of us, they could not miss us, and during all the engagement, as they played their shot, so hot at our stern, it is surprising there were not many more men killed. I then sent for my second and third mate, and told them Mr. Rogers' opinion, and my own. They both agreed to it, and consented to the surrendering of the ship. So we submitted to the enemy, finding it in vain to proceed. By my watch it was 5 o'clock. My second and third mate went into the steerage to forbid firing, and myself in the roundhouse did the same. Everybody seemed to be very well satisfied as to the surrendering part, and no objection was made. Colors we had none to strike. Those in the ensign's staff were shot to pieces, and what was left of the ensign, being made fast to the main shrouds, went with the mast. Captain Scarlett went into the roundhouse, and called the enemy on board, and told them we had no boats. They sent their dinghy aboard with 4 men for me and my chief officers. They left 2 of the 4 aboard the Derby. Myself and my second mate went in the dinghy aboard the Grab. We were gone an hour and a half good, if not more. Then we returned in a gallivant with 50 or 60 men, but not a soul went aboard the Derby till we returned. Then came aboard more gallivants and more men, and secured the arms, etc., and drove our people up, some to the pumps, and some to clear the rigging off the ship's side. They transkipped to their grabs what treasure could be got at, and the next day turned out the remainder, with myself, Scarlett, Cudden, the 2 ladies, and my servants, into one of the grabs. End of 12. Narrative of the capture of the ship Derby. Recording by Patrick McAfee, Chicago, gis.depaul.edu/pmcAfee.